guys, I hope you're having a good day and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to talk about the Stamina Templar. Now this character is basically I use it for role playing, so I thought I'll take it into PvP and try it out. And I really enjoy this build for the Stamina Templar. I don't play much of Stamina Templar, but this build, I started liking the Stamina Templar after playing this build. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. First, let's look at our character sheet. We have 28 points into health, 36 points into stamina. Max health is at 29k, max stamina is at 20k. Recovery is a bit low, so that shouldn't be a problem. We are doing fine with our recovery. Spell damage, let us just buff up. Right, it's at 5,520, so we can push this up to 6,000 in combat, and I'll show you how. Right, is at spell critical is at 15%, 5,500 weapon and spell damage. Spell penetration is around 6k. Our resistance on the back bar is 28k spell, 27k physical resistance, crit resistance is at 2k. We are a stage 3 vampire. It shows stage 2, but you want to be stage 3 for the undead passive. Mundus we are running is the shadow. Increase your critical damage and healing by 11%. And the food we are using is Jewels of Misrule, and we are using tripods. Our race, for the race we are Dark Elf. Reduces the damage taken from environmental lava, but we don't care about this. These three are what we are looking for. Increase your max magicka and stamina by 1910. Increase your flame resistance by 4620, and increase your weapon and spell damage by 258. So that's it for our stats. Now let's get into the skills. And for the skills, we'll start off with the back bar. On the back bar, our first skill is Extended Ritual. It's basically our cleanse and also heal over time. Stand in this, you'll be good. Next is Honor the Dead. So this is our burst heal. So it just heals us. There's nothing more to say about this. Next skill is Vigor, Resolving Vigor. So this is heal over time for 5 seconds. And also it gives us minor resolve, increasing our physical and spell resistance, which is for PvP this seems to be staple. Next is Elemental Susceptibility, which is your breach. You would want to use this before you engage into combat, so saps their defenses, what Elisas does. Next is Channel Focus. So this Channel Focus is basically your equivalent to your armor buff. Gives you major resolve for 25 seconds. Also gives you magical recovery. And while you're in the ruin and you hit your Honor the Dead, it just gives you a boost heal. So you would want to do this, and this, so you get increased healing. And the ultimate on the back bar is Blood Scion. So I don't know why I'm using Blood Scion, because I don't have a better ultimate on the back bar as far as I know. I can go for the healing ultimate, but I didn't like being stationary over there, or I can use Nova. But I thought I'd just go with Blood Scion instead. just for the whole. You can use the Sigicoda one, which is Temporal Guard, but I couldn't be bothered farming for Temporal Guard, so I'm using Blood Scion because my vampire skill was level 10, so you just use that instead. This is just for oh crap moments. Now let's move on to our front bar. First skill is Biting Jabs. Jabs, it's our spammable, also our source of major brutality and sorcery. So this skill, when it buffs, hits hard. So it's like 3 strikes or 4 strikes that you get for each damage. It's also an AoE. Next skill is Radiant Glory. This is our execute. I went with Radiant Glory because it also gives you a heal, so when you're in when you're almost going to deal the killing blow on low health, when both you and your target is on low health, you want to execute and he's executing, this gives you a little bit chance to let you survive basically. So Radiant Glory, good execute. Next is Toppling Charge. So this is our gap closer, also our source of stun. So but this is dodgeable. So when you come up against good players, they can see you coming from a mile off. They can simply block or dodge. So just warning, if you're using this, you can go for Binding Javelin, but I prefer Toppling Charge because it helps me get closer and hit my jabs. So I went with Toppling Charge. Next is Rending Slashes. So the source of dot, bleed damage. You know how this works. Then Living Duck, one of the best skills that I can say on a Templar. So basically, you put the bubble around you, it snares your enemies. Also, every time you take damage, it heals you every 3 seconds. But it sucks that it's only 12 seconds. I wish it was around 20. That would make Templar OP. But 15 seconds should be fine, because this buff keeps falling off every time you go on a rotation. So Living Dark is a really good skill. Next is Crescent Sweep. So this is our ultimate on the front bar. It's really cheap ultimate. It only takes 75 ultimate to hit a Crescent Sweep. Basically, I'm using Crescent Sweep for the cheap ultimate for the burst. You can go for Dawnbreaker or Smiting, which also gives you a stun, but I prefer Crescent Sweep. So that's it for the skills. Now let's move on to our sets. So on the back bar, we are using Veterans Perfected Ice Staff in defending. So it gives you an additional line of penetration, and also what the Veteran staff does is when you cast Elisas on your target, it tethers you to them and puts dots on them. So basically they take flame, shock and frost damage every 1 second. The monster set, we are using Balogs. What Balogs does is it gives you spell damage, and when you use 500 ultimate, you get 23 times the amount for 12 seconds. So that's how we push our weapon and spell damage over 6k with this, and also our penetration hits the roof as well. So a really good monster set. Balogs, go with Balogs. Alternate monster set, Master Lock. Go with Master Lock if you're doing 1v1s with the Veitish and Ice Staff at the back. The enemy has no chance basically. Next we are using One Piece Trainee. This is the best one piece which gives you max health, so we are going with this. We have a tri-enchant and it's in heavy reinforced. Next, we are using one piece druids. So again, one piece gives max health. We're going with max health. We're in Impen, the stamina enchant. So these are the sets, and on the main hand, go with the Master's Maces. The twin slashes deals 1500 more damage for each hit of the initial attack and bleed. So I went with maces for the extra penetration. Front hand, main hand as a shock enchant to apply minor vulnerability, and on the offhand we are using another mace with charged with a disease damage enchant. For the main set we are running Deadly Strike. Deadly Strike is the set that I feel comfortable for a stamina Templar. Really good set. It gives a line of weapon and spell damage, line of critical chance, adds more weapon and spell damage, and then it increases the damage of your damage over time and channel attacks by 15%. So that's your Rending Slashes and your Jesus Beams. So all this hits really hard. Both these actually hit really hard. So that's why we're running Rending Slashes. Now I must say, for the skills, if you do not want to run Rending Slashes, switch out the Master's Maces, remove Rending Slashes, put on Camo Hunter, run a second set like Wretched Vitality. So that is what I would suggest if you do not want to run Rending Slashes. If you want more critical damage or something, go with that. So that's why we are running Deadly, because of your Jesus Beams, and Rending Slashes deal extra damage by 15%, so it's really strong. So you can really burst damage anyone if you time it right. So next we are using Mythic is Death Dealer's Feat. This is what goes well with the Stamina Templar, because it gives you a stack of escalating feat, up to 30 stacks, increasing your health, magicka and stamina by 88. So a really good mythic. Alternatively you can run Markin, because that's the ring. Markin gives you extra weapon and spell damage, so go with that if you feel comfortable. But I feel Death Dealer's Feat is the right one. Now we are using 3 heavy, 1 light and 3 medium. So 3 heavy, 1 light, 3 medium is what we are going for. Reinforce for the chest, rest everything is in pen. Try stat all the big pieces if you can, and stamina enchants on the rest. And for the jewelry we are running infused, all infused, with a weapon and spell damage enchant. Right, with that being said, let's move on to our champion points. In champion points we are running Fighting Finesse, increase your critical damage, critical healing. Focus Mending for the extra health, extra healing. Ironclad for the reduced damage. Untamed Aggression for the weapon and spell damage. So 150 additional weapon and spell damage is what we're using. For the red tree we're using Celerity, increasing your movement speed. Relentlessness gains major protection for 3 seconds. Pain's Refuge, sustained by suffering, magical recovery stuff. Reduced damage, major protection, speed, and increased recovery. Green tree is your choice, and I'm going with Gifted Rider, Steed's Blessing, War Mount, Treasure Hunter. Couldn't be bothered getting liquid efficiency or something like that, go for it. As I said, this is my role-playing character, so Treasure Hunter, War Mount, Gifted Rider, Steed's Blessings. Additionally, you would want this passive from the green tree, which is Breakfall, reduce your fall damage by 7%. really helps, go with this. Well, that's it for the video, guys. I hope it helps. Please leave a like and comment below if you have any opinions, suggestions, feedback. Thank you all for the support on my last video. It really helped, really gives me motivation to do more. And please do subscribe to my channel, really helps. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video.